Third down and 8. Pressure coming. Richardson looking deep. Downs is open, and he makes the catch. What a catch by Josh Downs. A 31-yard pickup on 3rd and long. Downs leads the Colts in targets on 3rd down, and they found him there for a big play. Here's Taylor now, and Taylor to the 40-yard line.
If he had 7 more pass attempts.
2nd and 2. Taylor up the middle. He's got the first down. Still going. Taylor still turning his legs inside the 30. 3rd down and 4. Richardson keeps it. Throwing on the run. Incomplete. Granson had a step. Not on the same page with Richardson. And that looked to be a layup on 3rd down. As Gay comes out to attempt from 41 yards away. And the kick is good. So an opening drive field goal for Indianapolis. Wilson in motion, handoff to Hall, and Breece Hall with a bruising run to the 30, a gain of 6, and that'll make it 3rd down and short for the Jets. Rodgers pump fakes, in trouble, and down he goes! It's the rookie Latu with his 3rd sack of the year. In his young career, he's averaged about 6 carries per game. He already has 3 in the first quarter. Over the middle, he locates Michael Pittman. A first down for Indianapolis, a gain of 16. 3rd down and 4. Richardson throws. Mitchell's got it. A.D. Mitchell off to the races at the 10, 5, and he reaches for the goal line, and he's down at the 1. Richardson keeps it himself, trying to get to the outside. Stiff arm on Clemens. Richardson takes it in! A bruising touchdown run for Anthony Richardson. 319. Rodgers steps up, fakes it. He's going to try to run for the first down, and they're going to spot him about a half-yard short. And what is Jeff Ulbrich going to do here? And Conklin takes the snap under center, and let's see where they spot him. There was some great pushback by the Colts.
He was stoned as soon as that ball got snapped. He went absolutely nowhere.
Did not get it. Taylor. And that's going to be very close to a Colts first down. Jets defense indicating it should be 4th down against the Jets defense. 4th down and 1. Taylor up the middle, and he's got the first down. So Shane Stock. Richardson to the air, sets up the screen. Ogletree, blockers ahead, and he slipped. Wow, Drew Ogletree tried to turn upfield and lost his footing. Otherwise, that could have been a bigger play for Indianapolis. Taylor in motion. Richardson rolling right. Pressure's coming. He stays on his feet, and now he's brought down. Quinnen Williams, his 6th sack of the year.
Quincy, followed up by Quinnen Williams, takes Anthony Richardson down to the ground.
A 16-yard loss makes it a 47-yard field goal attempt, and Matt Gay boots it through. Rodgers throws. Garrett Wilson has it. And with that spot, he's going to be just short of a first down. Richardson steps up and tries to flick one to Trey Sermon, who makes the catch. A very dangerous. Also have not scored a touchdown since the 4th quarter against the Texans. Rodgers to Wilson. And Wilson is stopped in his tracks by Jalen Jones. A first half, first down. Can Breece Hall change that right here? He can. And listen to the crowd. Rodgers on the slant to Devontae Adams. Breaks a tackle. Adams at the 40. And Adams shoved out of bounds by Nick Cross. Rodgers looking left, now comes back over the middle to Hall. He's got some room to run. First down, Hall, 10, 5, touchdown! Second down and 6. Play fake to Taylor. Richardson is hit and he lost the football. Kinlaw scoops it up and it's Jets ball. Second and 3. Adams in motion. Brees Hall right side. He's got the first down and more. Inside the 10. Dives for the pylon. And it's a touchdown. Third down and 13. Richardson over the middle, and he's got Downs for the first down. Sauce tries to jam him at the line. Richardson looking the other way, gets rid of it, completes it to Downs, who turns upfield and picks up the first. The Jets had a couple of chances to stop the... Richardson fires to Pierce, who's got it inside the Jets 40. Third down and 9. They run it with Taylor, and he's spun down at the line. Clemens making the tackle.
Of getting him on the ground and closing up that gap.
This will be a season long for Gay. Online, does it have the distance? It's good. So Matt Gay boots it through.
Not able to find him there, and Jets forced a punt.
Ball on the ground, Richardson falls on it. Did not connect on the handoff, but Richardson was able to jump on it. They've gained a total of 30 yards. And they will just play it safe here on third and long. Taylor going nowhere.
319!
Rodgers, and Conklin wasn't looking for it. This would be a career long for Anders Carlson, the Jets' 4th different kicker in the last 4 weeks. And this one is good! That was a loss of 2. On third and 17. Richardson throws the screen to the turf. Incomplete. Our producer today had nothing to do with it, but we'll give him credit anyway. Our director is Andy Goldberg. Rodgers to Adams. A little room to run. Adams through the Colts defense and lowers his shoulder. Oh, what a run by Adams after the catch.
Hey, Lucky 45. Lucky, you're down. 319.
Second down and 7. Rodgers quick pass. Adams at the 31, spins away inside the 30 and fighting for a first down. He's going to be marked just short. Third down and 2. A pitch to Hall. Trying the right side, and Hall's got the first down and more. Brees Hall spinning his way to the 10. A gain of 17. Play fake. Yeboah, he's got it, and he's got a touchdown! The first NFL touchdown for Kenny Yeboah.
The Jets are doing a good job of bringing edge pressure these last couple of series.
Richardson over the middle, he's got Pittman for a first down. Pittman to midfield. And that was a rocket throw from Richardson, a gain of 20. Third and a long 2. Richardson gets rid of it to Mo Alley-Cox, who makes the catch. Mo Alley-Cox has giant hands, nearly 12 inches. Another pass, 6th straight on this drive. Alec Pierce is open. It was his former teammate at Cincinnati, Sauce Gardner, who had the coverage. Richardson to Downs at the 5. Reaches, and he's in! Touchdown! What a drive by Richardson! And the Colts will keep the offense on the field to go for 2. Colts trying to tie it here with the 2-point conversion. Richardson to the end zone. Mo Alley-Cox can't get there. Out of his reach. Rodgers has time. Now looking to roll right, throws on the run, completes it for the first down. Xavier Gipson gets 18 along the sideline. But a big penalty here against the rookie. Rodgers throws on the run again and completes it. That is Malachi Corley on the reception. 2nd down and 8. Quick pass, Devontae Adams. Devontae Adams to the 25-yard line. Rodgers screen to Hall at the 20, and he's going to be tackled short of a first down. And Carlson's kick is good. So the Jets go up by 5. Richardson pump fakes, now taking a deep shot for Pierce. He's open. Pierce is tackled at the 30. Jalen Mills saved a touchdown.
Pierce catches a long one.
On 1st and 10, Downs on the slant to the 10-yard line. What a throw by Richardson. In-stadium scoreboard still has the Jets with no timeouts remaining. Colts with all 3. 55 seconds to go. It's 3rd and goal. Richardson running left. Blockers ahead. Richardson gets in. Touchdown. His 2nd rushing touchdown of the day. And the Colts pull ahead.
All right, they're all tight, so you could see crossers.
Taylor up the middle. Can he get there? There's some pushback, and Quinnen Williams is able to stuff him.
No idea what Aaron Rodgers is trying to do there. Throw that back.
2nd and 23. Rodgers to Breece Hall at the 21. Slips a tackle. Hall is tackled at the 27. But the Jets, with no timeouts, cannot stop the clock. And now a flag comes out.
That's going to be on E.J. Speed for delay of game.
Rodgers in trouble, can't take a sack, and he does! 5 seconds, 4, and that is how the game will end. Quiddy Pay, the exclamation point for the Colts.